What up, y'all? Back. Okay. Today we're going to talk about speed to contact and speed to communication and speed in general. And I want you to consider like every single time that you wait or you think it costs you money. And we're talking about front end speed right now, but we can apply this to everything. And call reluctancy is a very real thing, a very real emotion. So I need to acknowledge that that is true. Overanalyzation is a massive issue, which causes paralyzation, and we all of a sudden slow down. So there's a lot of times where if you are being held accountable, like if there is a metric system inside your agency, and you got to do these calls, and like sometimes it's monotonous, and the connection rate gets down, all these things, right? We justify pre-researching calls or doing X, Y, and Z before we make this outbound phone call. So we're prepared. In reality, we know we're going to be prepared for a voicemail, and that slows us down. But let's talk about the front side. If you're getting data leads or you're getting any sort of lead or you're getting a referral from a mortgage person or whatever, anytime something is coming into you, the game is to be as fast as possible to communication to that prospect. If an internet lead comes in, the fastest person usually wins, right? Because we know that they're going to get 17,000 phone calls. The intention is to get them on the phone, keep them in process, and keep them on the phone until they can close. Get all of the details ironed out so that way you're ready to close them right now so they don't want to go through this process with somebody else because they don't want to waste another 30, 35 minutes on a phone call. They just want to handle this and handle this now, which is also going to tee you up to close them. Say, do you really want to go through this process again? Like there's all sort of closing techniques based upon this, but I want you to think about like if you are not getting back to someone or getting to someone at first with speed and urgency and efficiency, then you're looked at as amateur. Like if you get a lead at 4:30 on a Thursday, and in your brain you're like, "Well, I leave at 5." And now hear me out. Families first, always. So I get it. But you need to create a strategic system that doesn't allow that to happen, where you have to choose between that and that. And that's a conversation with management to make sure like you're clear on what should happen at this point in time. How do I get off this call if I need to go pick up my kid from school? Because all of those things are reality and the things that we deal with. But speed to contact is essential. So like if we get a lead at 4:30 and we wait until the next morning, we're done usually. And that's our choice. That's our choice to not take the money. And if you say in your head, like, well, I'm choosing my kid over that, I always want you to do that. But I want you to be aware of you doing that and say, how can I make this a better process for me? Like if you get a new lead, make it a target or goal to get to that lead within 60 seconds. No matter what you're doing. Obviously, if you're on the phone, you're stuck. But if you're doing anything else and you're not talking to a live prospect, you get a lead in. 60 seconds is the total amount of time you should be waiting to make a phone call. There's no pre-quote, there's no pre-qualifying, there's nothing you need to do. You just need to see if you can get this person on the phone, and you should have the skill set in communication to keep them on the phone while you do your research or the things that you need to do to get through this. The most frustrating thing anyone goes through is getting a lead jacked before you get an opportunity to get to it. Not from another person in your agency, but from someone else. You call them, they're on the phone, they've already talked to someone, they've already got a quote from your company. Like all of those things are a frustrating feel. But usually we can apply it to our own behavior and the reason why it exists like that. Like if you think about your competition, you need to consider that they know this trick already. They know they have 60 seconds to get to this person. They just got the lead the exact same time you did. And then what? Do you compete or do you try to one up them? My goal is 59 seconds. My goal is 57 seconds. My goal is 50 seconds. But you don't know the success unless you track, which is what like this whole app is about, like tracking all of the small wins to see the bigger end result and the big target that happens after 6 weeks or whatever time. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle of holding yourself accountable to track and gamify the results you're desiring and you're trying to go after. If the results you desire and what you're trying to go after inside the agency is success in sales, then these small details that we're talking about throughout each of these modules is a necessary evil for you to apply and figure out what system works for you in the game. There's zero doubt that faster response time equals higher close rate. And consider this for when you're actually, if for whatever reason you have to disconnect with someone to go handle a piece of business and then call them back. If you give them a time, you deliver on that time. If you give me a day, you need to question what the hell you're doing. Unless it takes a day. Okay. If it truly takes a day, we're being honest. But I want you to start to hear my voice in your head when you start to bullshit a customer because you feel like that's the best way to go about it. I need to buy myself some time, so let me tell them a lie. You don't want to live in that space. It's hard to keep track of small lies. Just live in truth. So here's the goal and the action item. When you go down and your declaration, all the things you're going to try to focus on today, I want you to look at the past leads you've gotten, maybe in the last couple of days. I want you to look at the lead, the timestamp that you got the lead, and I want to look at the timestamp of your first outbound connection time with them. What's the average number? Let's look at 5 leads. So 5 leads. And if it's not applicable to you, talk to your agency owner manager and say, look, I don't usually get leads in here. How can I apply this to make sure my urgency exists? What should this look like? Like all of these cues that I give you to talk to your manager, your team, or your agency owner are not negative things at all if you approach them. They are appreciative of your desire to grow and become stronger inside this position. So don't frame it like that. Frame it and understand the truth, which is they are proud of you for wanting to become better and more efficient to produce for your family as well as the agency level. So a reminder, when you go through, I want you to focus on this. I want you to focus on the past 5 leads that you've received. What is the length of time from the moment that you received it? Let's say it's an email. Let's say it's an upload to a lead system. And how quick was your first outbound phone call or text? If it's automated, don't count. Talking about you. You take an action. And then just mark it down and be aware of it. And as you progress over the next few days, see if you can shrink that as small as possible. And then track the results. Is this helping me get more quoted households, or is this just me focused on something for no reason? I have you consider it's not the latter. And as these modules go, what do we remind ourselves of? We stack and we track every single day. You're doing the modules, you're doing the job forms, you're doing these things, right? It's all for business. Are you focused on your body? Are you focused on your connection to God? Are you focused on your relationships? And you're focused on getting better mentally inside the business space? The answer is yes, cool. Now, are you going into the stack and you're working through those thoughts and feelings and emotions and being very clear and putting yourself in power to walk into the agency and be ready to handle business? You're like not even halfway through this thing. And if you've done the work that's detailed up until this point, you're unrecognizable already, I promise you. But if you're playing off the small things, you're probably going to be in the same boat you started in, and you just wasted time and energy. This is real. So this is my call for course correction. If you're just playing on the sideline, step in the game for 3.5 more weeks and see what the result is. But as we start talking about these small details in follow-up and these small details in the sales process, start to apply and then reapply and then reapply and then reapply until it becomes a habit and becomes consistent, and it just becomes part of your everyday system.